I'm redoing this paper on the duration of virus shedding in cultured Omicron because I made a mistake in terms of cultural conversion. I read the paper too fast. Without double checking, I'm like, cultural conversion, that must be another word for incubation. So I figured it was this incubation period before symptoms appear where you can have viral shedding, followed by the transmissible virus when you have the symptomatic phase. But cultural conversion is actually the point at which samples taken from a person infected can no longer produce it. So if this is the COVID virus, it can no longer produce COVID virus in the culture. So back to the study, we are looking at Omicron B.1.1.529, which is way back a long time ago. So when people say, oh, it's an Omicron descendant, well, yeah, pretty much everything's an Omicron descendant. Now, this study used nasal swabs and collected samples between July 2021 and January 2022. 32 samples were the Delta variant and 34 samples were BA.1. All but one participant had symptomatic infection, and the study was done at Mass General Brigham. And the median time from symptom onset or initial positive PCR, whichever was first, was 6 days for Delta and 8 days for the Omicron group BA.1, with no difference between the time to PCR conversion or cultural conversion according to vaccination status. Meaning that although vaccination has been shown to reduce the severity of the disease and the incidence of infection, they did not find large differences in the median duration of viral shedding among participants who were unvaccinated versus those that were vaccinated but not boosted versus those who were vaccinated and boosted. And boosted here is defined as a third series of the primary. So what's important is that while the median is between 6 and 8 days for these two different variants, you can have positives much longer than that. So if we look at the percentage of patients with positive PCRs from days since first positive PCR out to 15 days, there are still 25% of patients approximately, or maybe closer to 20% of patients that are still positive. So when the CDC is shortening the strict isolation period from 10 days to 5 days after symptom onset and after initial positive, followed by 5 days of masking, this is still not ideal, because essentially that would be the first 5 days, so isolation, masking, and then the person might not be masking, and these are all people that could be giving other people COVID. And here's another look here. And then we have another graph here, so percentage of participants with positive culture versus days since first positive PCR. So out to 15, we still have about between, 5 and 20% of people that can still test positive in culture, which means they still have live virus that they can transmit to others. So yes, thank you for catching my mistake, those two individuals who did. And yeah, that's the update for Omicron.